Hello everyone, Voodoo 51292 here, and welcome to this edition of Voodoo's Verdict, my honest and thorough game review series. And today we're going to have an interesting conversation. We're going to be talking about a game that came out this past Tuesday, a game that we've been hearing a lot about for a year or so now, a game that looked like it had a lot of promise, came from a well-respected game development studio, and unfortunately, upon its release this week, it's caused a lot of conversation, a lot of debate, a lot of anger amongst gamers, and has led to a lot of discussion about the state of major releases at this point, AAA game design, etc. So, I'm going to give you my take on the game, alright? And I'm going to tell you the real situation that I feel is going on with the game Evolve, alright? This is a very nice package. I love when games do this. Not a lot of games do it anymore, but you'll notice they have a sleeve for the game. It looks really nice. It's textured. The big monster print is textured and everything. It looks nice. So it's a good looking package. But what is the package in terms of the game? And the biggest thing people have been talking about this week with this game is, of course, the amount of, or lack thereof, of content in the game when it is a full $60 retail game. So I'm going to get all into the amount of content in the game and talk about my feelings about it and whether or not it's worth 60 bucks. But first, I'm going to talk about the game itself. We're going to talk about the gameplay, the game modes, etc., what you can expect when you play the game Evolve. So Evolve was designed by Turtle Rock Studios, published by 2K. Turtle Rock Studios is the game development team that was behind the very successful Xbox series Left 4 Dead, the cooperative zombie game that generally received a lot of good praise. People really enjoyed it. It was a big success on the Xbox platforms. And so when this game was announced that Turtle Rock was working on another game, people got excited about it. Like I said, we've been seeing trailers and gameplay of the game for quite some time, and I was one of the people that actually was pretty excited and interested in this game because it looked really neat. The concept of having a 4-player team with different classes versus a player-controlled monster in this large open map where you had to hunt the monster and try to kill it before it killed you, it seemed like a very interesting concept. So, obviously I picked the game up this week. So, Evolve does not have a single-player campaign. I'm going to repeat that. Evolve does not have a single-player campaign. It is a purely multiplayer-based game. Now, already this should raise some eyebrows. We had this experiment last year with Titanfall, and a lot of people got up in arms about Titanfall because they said there's not enough content here to justify a $60 release. Titanfall claimed to have a campaign when in actuality it was just a series of multiplayer modes. It wasn't really a campaign, and people had issues with the fact that it was a $60 game without a campaign. Evolve is the same type of deal. Now, Turtle Rock and 2K will try to sell you and tell you, oh, you can play it by yourself as well. Don't listen to that, because basically what it means to play by yourself is you hop on and you play the exact same multiplayer mode you play online, except you're playing with and against all AI-controlled bots. So, is there really a purpose of playing it that way? Absolutely not. So right off the bat, if you don't have PS Plus or Xbox Live, don't even give this game a thought because it's multiplayer-based. Now, the entirety of Evolve contains, and this is just what you get without pre-ordering, that's how I review games. No pre-order bonuses, no DLC, just if you went to the store right now, paid your money, and got handed a copy of this game, what would you get? The entire game contains, oh, I'm sorry, fell out of its sleeve, contains 3 monsters, 12 hunters, albeit there's only 4 classes, so there's 3 types of hunters in each class, and essentially 4 different game modes and 12 maps. That's what you get with this game. That is it. So there's 3 monsters like I mentioned. There is a melee style monster called the Goliath. There is a sort of long-ranged flying base monster called the Kraken, And then the third one is sort of like a stealthy, pretty overpowered in my opinion, quick attacking sort of ninja monster called the Wraith. And you've got pretty standard classes with the human characters. You've got an assault class, which is basically the one that does the damage to the monster. You've got a typical medic that does typical medic things, heals the party, can shoot the monster with tranquilizer darts, and can shoot it with a sniper rifle that doesn't do any damage, but gives that places weak points on the monster for the other players to shoot and damage it. You have a trapper class, which is very essential because the trapper can do exactly what the name implies, trap the monster in a confined area, therefore he can be killed more easily that way. And you've got a support class, which can call in support airstrikes and that sort of thing. So pretty typical classes, they're not anything too extreme. And so if you play as the humans, that's what you're going to play as, one of these four classes, and your goal, for the most part, is to hunt and kill the monster. Now if you play as the monster, the gameplay is drastically different, because as the monster, your goal is to, early on in the stage, when you're a level 1 monster, you really can't take on all four of the humans. So you need to go around and hunt the wildlife, or kill and eat the wildlife that's present on the map. And by killing and eating wildlife, you will gain armor to protect yourself, and also you will gain points toward evolving. And when you've gained enough points, you can evolve your monster. And by evolving the monster, you get more life, and you get to put in skill points to one of your abilities. Now, the monsters only have 4 abilities. That's it. So when you level up, you have 3 points, and you can put them into your 4 abilities as you see fit. And as you level up and evolve with your monster, you're more powerful and better able to take on the hunters. You want to sort of avoid them in the beginning, level yourself up, evolve, and then you can try to take them on after. Now, your 4 game modes, you've got the typical one that's been advertised a lot called Hunt. The only point of Hunt is to, the humans try to hunt the monster, find him, and kill him, and the monster has to try to kill the humans. That's it. Kill whichever side you're on, kill the other team, alright, before they kill you. You've got Survivor, which is, there are different survivors around the map. Human survivors, and the human team's goal is to go and rescue a certain amount of them and get them safely to an evac ship, while the monster's goal is to kill a certain amount of survivors before they are rescued. Alright? There's one called, I think it's called Nest, and this is more of the monster-based mode where there's different eggs, clutches of eggs around the map, and the humans are supposed to go and kill or destroy a certain amount of eggs, and the monster's job is to protect a certain amount of eggs. And the monster can actually hatch eggs into minions that can fight for him. Alright? Any of these game modes can end at any point, though, if all the humans are killed or the monster's killed. If that happens, then the game mode ends anyway. And there is a mode called Defender, where the monster is automatically level 3, which is the highest you can evolve, by the way. Yeah, there's only 3 levels. And the monster has minions that come with him, and he's supposed to attack these certain areas on the map and basically attack different defenses around the map and destroy them, and the human's job is to protect them. So all the game modes are kind of the same thing if you really think about it. They're not very inventive at all, different game types. Now, you can play the game types in one of 2 ways. You can either play single matches at a time, playing whatever mode you like to play, or you can play this mode called, I think it's called Extraction or something like that, where it's basically 5 of these game modes in a row, and it's almost like a mini story, because depending on what happens in the previous match, it has effects on the matches to come. So if the monster wins, say, day 1, wins the first match, then going into match 2, the monster will probably have some advantage over the humans because they beat them in the first match, and so forth and so on. And so the idea is to win a certain, the most amount of matches, depending on what side you are, by the end of the 5 days. And that's probably the more interesting way to go, and the way I'd recommend playing Evolve. That's it. Alright, there's no story in the game. It's just, you're on this planet, whatever, there's monsters attacking, play the game mode. So that's it. That's the whole game of Evolve. Now, the game modes work well, and they are pretty enjoyable. The mechanics work. They're not broken mechanics. I really didn't encounter any bugs in the game or anything like that. So the game that's there is enjoyable, and it's fun, and it works. The problem is, there's no content in this game. Alright? There's 3 monsters. I'm going to repeat that. There's 3 in this whole $60 game. Now, this game apparently has been in development for 4 to 5 years. What were they doing for everything that wasn't the last 6 months? Because this game could have been developed in 6 months. I don't know what in the world took 4 to 5 years to actually develop. Here's another interesting fact about the game. So when you get the game, there's only 3 monsters, right? And 12 different hunters. You'd think for 60 bucks you can go into the game and just pick which monster you want to play as. Not true. You only have the first monster unlocked right off the bat with this game. You have to play as that monster and grind with that monster and use certain different abilities of the monster and level them up to unlock the second monster, and then you have to do the same thing with the second one to the third one. So you can't even play as whichever monster you'd like when you pick the game up. You have to grind in order to unlock the monsters. And it's the same with the human control characters. You only get to play as one type of human in each class when you start. You have to grind with that class in order to level up and unlock the other humans. That's complete bullshit for a game that, first of all, has next to no content in it anyway. Then you're going to require me to grind to unlock the other little bit of content that's in the game. So I only played as one friggin' monster in this game because I did not want to sit there and grind with the Goliath, which is the first monster type, to unlock the other classes. It's absolutely ridiculous. I already paid my money for the game. I don't want to have to sit there and unlock the 3 monsters. I should be able to play them when I get the game. And I'm sorry if that sounds spoiled, but there's almost no content in this game and I paid 60 bucks for it. So why should I be so limited to basically play a demo or an alpha version of the game when I get it unless I grind? It's ridiculous. So I'm not going to sit there and bore myself to tears to unlock the other classes in this game. Now, like I said, I don't review games based on DLC or any pre-order bonuses or anything, so this doesn't factor into my review, but it's an interesting tidbit. So when you pre-order the game at GameStop, you get 2 bonuses. You get a weapon and monster skin pack, alright, which is kind of dumb, and you get access for free to a 4th monster called the Behemoth for this game. So you come home, you put your code in, you expect to have a 4th monster. Guess what? The 4th monster isn't even out yet. The 4th monster is not coming out till later this year, and they have no announcement as to when it's coming out. So what kind of a pre-order bonus is that? You get access to a 4th monster that's not even out? You have to wait for a 4th monster when this game should have had about 8 of them to begin with? So here's the deal. The game that's here is enjoyable. The problem is, I was bored and stopped playing the game after 2 days. And I don't think I'm the only one, because get this. I was playing the game with Brandon as well, and by Thursday, which was only the second day I could play, I couldn't play this on release day because I had an exam the next day, so I couldn't start playing this game till Wednesday. So by Thursday, which is the 3rd day the game's been out, we couldn't find people to play with. There's already problems finding people to play with on this game because people are already bored of it after 3 days of playing it. We had to play matches with bots and never had people join us because either no one's playing the game or the matchmaking sucks. We couldn't find anyone to play with on the 3rd day the game was out. So, gee, that's a huge problem with multiplayer-only games, right? There's a shelf life because you can only play the game if other people are playing. The shelf life of this game's not even a week, and people aren't playing it anymore. We couldn't find anybody to play with. So, I'm just so disappointed and so angry and frustrated and resigned to this point that 2015 is picking up right where last year left off. We've had 2 major releases so far in Dying Light and this, and they have both sucked for different reasons. Dying Light sucked mainly because it was not very interesting, it was boring, and was just overall disappointing. This game sucks not because the game sucks, because there's basically no game here, and they charge you full price. And yes, there is $130 of DLC that was available to buy on day one. Everyone's been talking about it. It's all skins and and it's all skins. $130 of skins. Keep that in mind. And the season pass, which they tried to shove down your throat on day one at GameStop, and you don't even get any monsters. You get, I forget how, like 4 new hunters, and I think some more skins. For $25 now, because it was going for $20 on release day. Now it's $25, you get new hunters and skins. You don't even get a new monster. So for $60, you basically get a multiplayer that should have been added onto a game that had a robust campaign and had a full experience. They basically took the multiplayer that should have been added to a full game and decided to make it a full game and charge you $60. This game is not even close to being worth $60. This game, if anything, is worth $15, I'd say, max. This is a $15 game. And if you get the game now, like I said, good luck, because on Thursday, Brandon and I couldn't find anybody to play with. So, you know, a month from now, 2 months from now, you probably won't be able to play this game. Unless you want to play it with a bunch of bots, which is boring as hell. So, you know, I just don't know anymore. I really don't. I mean, AAA game design, I mean, I don't know what it is anymore. When I started doing this back in 2011, things were so different. And this was just 4 years ago. I mean, it was so different back then that people actually wanted to release full games for $60. They actually cared about making a good product. They actually weren't 100% about just milking you and ripping you off for all you're worth. But it seems like that's what games are now. AAA games. That's, you know, besides from the token few every year, this is mainly what it's about now. Is ripping you off, putting zero effort into games, selling you games that are not games, that are, complete rip-offs, and charging you full price and trying to justify it. And that's basically what we've come to. So, this game, do not buy the game for $60. Do not do it. Do not support this practice. This game is a rip-off. It's a rip-off. It's not worth $60. It's worth, like I said, about $15. And by the time the price drops on this game to something that it's more worth, no one will be playing it. So it's basically the same thing as Titanfall. Not worth $60, and by the time that the price comes down enough, no one will play the game, so it'll be useless. So, what do I say about Evolve? If you have an opportunity to rent it for a couple days, do it. That's about it. Because it's enjoyable when you actually play the game, but I can hardly call this a game. It's a multiplayer. It's the multiplayer of some game that it's like we're waiting to see where the rest of the game is. Alright? There's nothing. There's no substance to Evolve. There's zero substance, and Brandon and I were bored and stopped playing it after 2 days. And here's another fun thing. If you play in a party in this game, it turns off your ability to play as the monster. So if you want to play with your friends at all in this game, forget about being the monster because you can't do it. They said, oh, well, if you're in a party, you can't be on 2 opposite teams. Because for some reason you would cheat or it would be unfair. Except for the fact that everyone who bought this game probably did it to play with their friends, but you can't play as the monster. So if you want to play as the monster, you got to play it by yourself. You can't play it with your friends. So that's fun, right? So basically the entire 2 days I played the game, I barely played as the monster because I was playing with Brandon, and it turned off our ability to do that. So that's fun too. So again, if you want to be the monster, which is the unique part of Evolve, because the humans are what we've seen a billion times before in similar games, if you want to play as the monster, Gotta play it by yourself. Can't play it with friends. So that's fun, right? Thanks, Turtle Rock, for making what would probably be the best part of your game, which is playing as the monster, something that you have to do totally by yourself. That's always fun. So, what do I rate Evolve? It's really difficult because most of the time when I rate games, it's based on the actual game. Is the gameplay fun? Is there a good story? Are the mechanics fun? Or is it innovative? This game, I have to rate it basically off of the price and what you get for the price, which is something I normally don't ever have to do with video games, but since this is such a weird case of what the fuck, I have to do it. So Evolve, I rate the game as a 5. And I don't rate it as a 5 because of the gameplay, because like I said, the little tiny bit of gameplay that exists is fun. There's definitely potential there for you know, a full game that would have been fun. Playing as the monsters is unique and interesting, but there's nothing in the game. It's nothing. It's like I don't even know. It's like if you bit into a Twinkie and there's no cream in the Twinkie. You're like, what the what did I just buy? What did I just spend $60 on? 65 with tax. There's nothing here. There's 4 freaking game modes and 3 monsters. What? How can you... If you want to sell me a multiplayer-only game, first of all, I think it's dumb. But if you want to do it, you better have a ton of content. This should have had 8 monsters, 24 hunters, and about 25 maps, and about 15 game modes. The freaking Call of Duty multiplayers are more fleshed out and full, and they have a co-op mode and a campaign. And their multiplayer is more fleshed out than this. And this is the whole game. So, listen, I don't know. But, you know what? Screw Turtle Rock. Screw Turtle Rock Studios. They can take this game and go shove it where the sun don't shine, because this is not a $60 game. And they ripped off every single person, including myself, who was stupid enough to buy the game. Alright? So, this game's not even a week old, and I'm going to go trade it in so I can pre-order The Order 1886. And maybe I can actually play a game that's a full game. So this is a ripoff, and I swear, I'm getting so mad, I'm getting so angry with this nonsense that, and look, this is great. The back of the box. Winner of over 60 awards, Best of Show, E3, Best Shooter, of course IGN, can't spell ignorant without IGN. Best of Show, like, this is what we've become. And we're stupid enough, I'm stupid enough to buy this stuff. But you know what, I do it so that I can review it, that I can help other people to not buy it. The game's a 5, and that's because there's no content in the game. I can't even say, oh, I rate it 5 because it's an average game. No, the rating is weird. It's almost like I shouldn't rate the game because I'm not rating it based on the actual game itself or the gameplay or anything else, except for the fact that it's not a $60 game. If this game was a $15 game, I could probably rate it, I don't know, 7 to an 8 at least, if it was 15 bucks, but it's 60 and there's nothing frickin' here. It's a joke. It's the Twinkie with no cream in it. That's what it is. If your friend asks you, what is Evolve? You know, is it worth $60? You go up to them and you tell them, Evolve is biting into a Twinkie with no cream in the middle. It looks great. It looks delicious. You're excited about it because it's Twinkie. It's from a delicious, you know, manufacturer of cake-like materials. You're expecting something really fun and delicious. In the case of a Twinkie, you bite it and there's nothing there. And you just go, what the fuck did I just buy? So with the images of a creamless Twinkie dancing in your head, that's my review of Evolve. What a joke. What a ripoff. Do not buy this game for $60. Please, don't encourage them. Don't encourage them. Don't do it. I was stupid enough to. Don't be stupid like me. Learn from my mistakes. Okay? So that's it. And here's to hoping that every Twinkie you eat for the rest of your life has cream in it, because it's a real pain in the ass and kick in the balls to bite into a Twinkie that has no cream. So just remember that. Thanks for watching Voodoo's Verdict, and I'll be back with more reviews in the future. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now, and may all your Twinkies contain cream.